When I started my Divemaster course, I thought I knew what the next steps would look like. Finish the course, start assisting, and move towards becoming an instructor. But, as so often, nothing ever quite goes to plan. The course was messy. A lot of sessions were rescheduled, and there wasn't really any clear guidance on the outcome or the requirements. For many different reasons, everyone else who started with me ended up dropping out. Some of the rescheduling issues were certainly due to my other commitments, but the whole thing ended up taking 7 months. Gary, over on the Dive Hub, posted a really interesting video yesterday. I'll put a link up in a card here and in the description down below about Divemaster programs. There's an awful lot to go into there, but I highly recommend going and watching that video, but not until you're finished with this one. On paper, taking about 7 months to do a Divemaster course might seem like a good amount of training, but at the end of the day there were only 7 in-water sessions, a couple of classroom sessions and some pool evenings. All of that did help me to realise, at the professional level, no one's going to hold your hand. You have to create your own structure and keep your motivation alive when things aren't going quite as expected. In the meantime, I was also starting to get into technical diving. It was actually suggested that trying to do technical diving and go down the recreational professional route wouldn't work together. I actually found the opposite. Technical diving really helped to improve my skills. In June, I went out to the Faroe Islands again and spent an amazing week with Bowie doing a bespoke Intro to Tech course. I learned how to use a twin set, and there were a couple of firsts. There was my first decompression dive, the first time I went into a cave, and the first time that I was using a DPV. So much fun. Later in the year, I went out to Holland and did GUE fundies with Fred and Dorota. That's probably one of the best courses I've done. I thought I knew how to dive, but the first dive on that course was eye-opening. Over the course of 4 days, I made massive progress in stability and buoyancy, and looking back and comparing the profiles of the first and the last dives just shows how much that course helped. I didn't actually pass the course. I was given a provisional recreational pass because I had problem reaching my valves. I don't consider it a failure. It was a good learning experience and very valid feedback. All of last year, and to be honest, for the last 10 years or so, I've been struggling with my weight. Here in the UK, dive professionals have the same fitness and medical standards as commercial divers, so we have to get what's called a HSE medical once a year. The criteria for the medical are very stringent, which makes sense. Commercial diving is not the safest of work environments, let's be honest. For me, it meant that a BMI of over 35 was too high, and while the doctor would consider passing me if I'm physically fit enough, HSE would then revoke the medical immediately. So I've been going back and forth with that issue for a year or so, and I finally caved and I sought professional help. I restarted the Second Nature program, this time with medication support, and I'm seeing good progress, so it's making me excited for what's to come next. While I was working on my Divemaster course, I decided I didn't want to spend another cold, dark and wet December in Wales. Don't get me wrong, I love Wales, but December is pretty grim. There's not much daylight, the weather can be anything from atrocious to unbelievably good. I ended up getting in contact with Vero from Punkfish Diving and asked if they'd be open to me coming out to intern for a few weeks. We had a long video call and chat, and Vero obviously decided it might be an interesting gamble. They offered me the chance to come and help out at the centre. Initially, I wasn't supposed to be doing much more than helping to load the trucks, take care of customers, wash stuff down at the end of the day, fill tanks and all the rest, and go diving whenever dives were happening. On my 3rd day, they gave me a group to guide, and over the course of the 4 weeks I ended up guiding 10 dives, quite a few of which were solo. The best day was probably the last day of 2024. Angie gave me a Google pin, the keys to one of the trucks, 6 divers, a Divemaster trainee, and basically said, get 2 dives in, don't lose anyone, be back by about 4. One of our guests had a 100th dive on that day, I hit my 150th dive, so all in all, it was a very good day. I didn't get much diving in the first half of this year. Work was manic. Once summer rolled around, I got quite busy driving trips with Rib Ride at the weekends. Towards the end of the summer, things started calming down and I started my assistant instructor course. Again, with the same dive centre I did my Divemaster course with. To be honest, it was a lot better. I was given a schedule of what we'd be doing and when, and that schedule actually stuck. The academic workshops were clear, they were focused, the water sessions were useful, and I feel like I learned an awful lot in a very short time. Some key takeaways though, teaching underwater is so much harder than just demonstrating a skill perfectly. That's definitely going to be one of the biggest challenges for me on the ITC. Across all of it, a few things stand out. Training never stops. Mindset is really important. Teaching teaches you, and community is so important. This journey so far hasn't really gone to plan, but the nice thing about plans is that it doesn't always have to. In this case, it's gone exactly as it needed to. If you've had a course that didn't go to plan, or one that changed how you dive, I'd love to hear your story. Drop it in the comments or tag me on Instagram at SimonBDiving. Remember, the course isn't the endpoint, it's just the framework. If you enjoyed this video, you know the drill. Like, comment and subscribe. If you hit that little bell down there, you'll also get a ding when I post a new video. Some of the upcoming videos will cover seamanship topics, the ITC itself, there's a few book reviews lined up, and much, much more. Thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen, and others. Stay safe, but never forget, always have fun.